Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome all for the Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya classes. Today we will hear the nectar on Srimad Bhagavatam from Canto 5, Chapter 18, text number 29, and class will be given by His Grace Madhav Sharan Prabhu. Madhav Sharan Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Dandat Pranam Prabhu.
Dandat Pranam.
You can start the class, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Churunmilitam Mena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshadarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. First of all, I would like to take the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna. Today we are going to cover from the Srimad Bhagavatam, the verse number 29, 5th canto, 18th chapter. The chapter is entitled The Residents of Jambudvipa Offer Prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Can you please share, Prabhu, or you're sharing? Or
I'll share, Prabhuji, no problem. I'll share.
Hiranmaye api Bhagavan nivasati kurma tanum viparhanas tasya tat priyatamam tanum ariyama saha varsha purusai pitra ganadipati padavanti davati mantram imam chanu chapati. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Sukadeva Goswami continued, in Hiranmaya Varsha, the Supreme Lord Vishnu lives in the form of a tortoise, Kurma Sharira. This most dear and beautiful form is always worshipped there in devotional service by Ariyama, the chief resident of Hiranmaya Varsha, along with the other inhabitants of that land. They chant the following hymns. Purport. The word Priyatama, dearmost, is very significant in this verse. Each devotee regards a particular form of the Lord as the most dear. Because of an atheistic mentality, some people think that the tortoise, boar, and fish incarnations of the Lord are not very beautiful. They do not know that any form of the Lord is always the fully opulent personality of Godhead, since one of His opulences is infinite beauty. All the Lord's incarnations are very beautiful and are appreciated as such by devotees. Non-devotees, however, think that Lord Krishna's incarnations are ordinary material creatures, and therefore they distinguish between the beautiful and the non-beautiful. A certain form of the Lord is worshipped by a particular devotee because he loves to see that form of the Lord. As stated in Brahma Samhita 5.33, Advaitamachyutamanadimananta Rupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayavvanam Cha. The very beautiful form of the Lord is always youthful. Since sincere servants of a particular form of the Lord always see that beautiful form as very beautiful, and thus they engage in constant devotional service to Him. Hare Krishna. So basically, this section of Srimad Bhagavatam explains how the different residents of Jambudvipa offer their prayers. In the previous verse, actually, basically, Vaivaswata Manu, he is offering the prayers, and before that, Lakshmi Devi, like that. There are different varshas, and from different varsha in the Jambudvip, different personalities are offering the prayers. But Srila Prabhupada in all these purports is making a very strong point. Basically, the point is there are NBS persons, and second thing, all these prayers establishes the point rigidly that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, in order to make that point very, very clear, all these prayers are offered not only from the Bhuloka, all the different planetary systems also, the Lord remains supreme. So, Vedeshu Durlabam Adurlamam Atma Bhakto Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. So all the Vedas, the conclusion is to understand that Vasudevam Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. So Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. So Krishna's position has to be understood. Not only understood, has to be realized. That Sakshatkar is very, very important. Many of the times we think that, oh, we know this fact that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why we have to again and again stress and this point so rigidly or so thoroughly in the Srimad Bhagavatam class? But Srila Prabhupada, in one of his, I think, GBC meetings, when it happens, so Srila Prabhupada asked this question: are you convinced that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? There are many sannyasi disciples, many exalted disciples of Srila Prabhupada. But Srila Prabhupada asked this question: are you convinced that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Then all disciples are surprised by that question. Why Srila Prabhupada is asking this question? Well, of course, we are, we know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But there is something called knowing and something called realizations. So, Srila Prabhupada then next, when they are surprised, he tells, if you are convinced that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then within 18 days we can make the whole world Krishna conscious. That statement Srila Prabhupada says. Then like they are all like completely surprised. So there is something called jnana and something called vijnana. So jnana is the knowledge which we know theoretically. For example, in the second chapter only Krishna says that we are not the body, we are the soul. So this is the jnana. But to realize this, that I am not the material body, I am the soul, that realization or the sakshatkar, that is the vijnan, and that may take multiple lifetime also, maybe lifetime after lifetime, or maybe if one is very, very serious and sincere, maybe in this lifetime only he can realize that I am not this body, I am the soul. But that Atma Sakshatkar, or the realization that I am the soul, I am the Atma, Jivatma, I am the servant of the Lord, Jivera Swarupoi Krishnera Nitya Das. That realization is different from only having the theoretical knowledge that I am the soul. So that realization comes by the mercy of the Lord. So that is why here in the fifth canto, we may be surprised why this is explained, all the universal structure, different planetary systems, and here the residents of Jambudvipa, they are offering prayers. Why all these things is explained in the fifth canto, and why Parikshit Maharaj, he is going to die in 7 days, and maybe when the fifth canto is explained, he is much closer than 7 days to death. But it is explained the different planetary structure of the universe. Why it is important for us to know? No, because one thing is we have to understand in practical, like realize that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna, and all the residents of different planetary systems, or even up to the planet of Brahmaloka, they all acknowledge that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they worship. And the position of the Lord is that he remains Supreme Personality in all circumstances. That is why even here it is mentioned Kurma Sharira. Supreme Lord Vishnu lives in the form of tortoise, or in the previous prayers, Matsya. So like that, different incarnations, whatever may be the incarnations, the position of the Lord remains as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He remains the Supreme Lord in all situations. It is not that only ordinary fish or ordinary tortoise, not like that. So that is why here Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that some people may think that tortoise is not beautiful, fish is not beautiful, but Lord is all attractive, and he possesses all 6 opulences in full, like including the beauty. So Matsya, even though it is fish incarnation, it's very, very beautiful. And tortoise in Kurma avatar in the same way. So that's why Krishna, actually his energies are also inconceivable for the normal jiva to understand. So that is why here it is mentioned, many people, especially those who are having the atheistic mentality, they get bewildered. So Srila Prabhupada in previous 2 purport back, also he is mentioning about the impersonalists. How impersonalists, they don't believe in the Satchidananda form of the Lord. But devotee can understand and see that beautiful form. Here it is mentioned, Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Ananta Rupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayamvanam cha. So the explanation of his body, that it is Navayamvanam cha, it is ever youthful. And it is said Purusham, Purana Purusham. And also mentioned Ananta Rupam. So many ways, again and again, it is stressed these points that he is having the Satchidananda form. He is having that transcendental form, and sincere servants, they can see that form, which is very beautiful. So when it is possible, it's mentioned, when they engage in the constant devotional service. Ata Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grahyam indriyai Sevonmikehi jivado swayam eva spuratyadaha. By material senses, we cannot see the Lord. We cannot understand Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even the deity form in the temple. If one is having the material vision, grahyam indriye, so that person, he cannot see the form of the Lord or the name of the Lord or the pastimes of the Lord. They are non-different and they are completely transcendental. That they cannot see. But when they can see, when they're engaging the senses in the service of the Lord, starting with the tongue, sevonmukhe jivado, starting from the jiva, when they start service, then they can start understanding the absolute truth, higher and higher truths. Because when the Lord is pleased within the heart of the devotee, then he reveals that in the heart of the devotee. So that's why Krishna consciousness is all about relationship with the Lord. It is like Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. So here everybody is offering the prayers. It is Vandanam. They are now with the Bhakti, starting from Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. So there are various explanations of the prayers to establish the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And another part in this section of Srimad Bhagavatam, we can understand the envious nature of the living entity. So the atheistic mentality people or the materialistic people, they will never try to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because their desire is not to understand the personality of Godhead. So they always remain in darkness. So all the planetary systems, there are different living entities. In the material world, we are seeing, every jiva more or less is covered by the three modes of material nature and having the desire to independently enjoy from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the previous two verses, it is mentioned that from the great leaders of the universe, including Lord Brahma and other demigods, down to the political leaders of this world, all are envious of your authority. So this envious nature of the living jiva. So they are so envious, the materialistic people, that they don't want to even believe that this universe is created. All the structure which is given in the fifth canto, it is not created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but it comes from some Big Bang theory. Some bang happened, some explosion happened. And because of the explosion, this world came. So, but they are not understanding when if we are, suppose they want to break some big rocks or this one, they put this dynamite, and this dynamite, it explodes, and all the stones are cut into pieces, different sizes. So when the explosion happens, there is havoc, not the beautiful things come. But whereas we see in the nature here, the nature is, material nature itself is so beautiful. Then how we can imagine how beautiful will be the spiritual nature or the Vaikuntha Dhama. So Chintamani Prakara Sadmashu Kalpa Vraksha Lakshavrateshu Surabhi Palayantam. So Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sevana Samramani, just Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajan. So that verse explains the beautiful explanations how the spiritual world is. that world is of the spiritual nature, but we are not having that realization or the maybe experience of that nature completely. Maybe to some extent, devotees may get this experience here and there when maybe some they get do very nice devotional service. So here and there they may feel the experience, but complete experience of the spiritual nature we may not be having. But the material nature itself, if we take it, that itself is so beautiful. But they are telling it is coming from the explosion. So the whole thing is they are doing mental speculation of the material world, how it is coming and all. So that is because of their envious nature. It is just like they are telling Manava came from monkeys. But there are so many illogical things they are speaking. So Srila Prabhupada told, maybe your grandfather or your father might have come from monkeys, but not mine. So that is why this evolution theory or Big Bang theory, all this is because of the envious nature of the living entity. So Anusuya way, even in Srimad Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says this. So they are all playing with the zeros. 0 plus 0, 0 into 0, or 0 minus 0. Whatever they do without Krishna, everything is like 0 only. So we might be having so much wealth, so much knowledge. I have PhD degree, all zeros, because all the scientists whichever they are creating nuclear bombs or the missiles, hypersonic missiles, whatever, is all 0, 0, 0. Because why 0? Because at the point of death, everybody will leave this and go. Whatever the wealth or the knowledge, the husband has to leave the wife or the children. This is because everything is temporary. This dukhalayam ashashvatam. So that is why the envious nature, Srimad Bhagavatam, in the second verse itself, it kicks out all the Kaitava Dharma, and it is establishing that those who are non-envious, they can understand the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. Dharma prochita kaitavatra paramo nirmatsaranam satam. Nirmatsaranam satam. So nirmatsarya, this is a thing we have to develop, this quality, that we become more and more humble. That is why Srimad Bhagavatam takes us from whatever stage the reader starts reading this first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam till when he comes to the point of ninth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. It gradually elevates one's consciousness. And when by the time one finishes ninth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, he has become a pure devotee. So that is, that means he is completely free of envy. Then when he reads 10th canto, Krishna's pastimes, then he can relish. That is why it is said it is the Paramahamsa Samhita. So it is meant for Paramahamsas also. They relished the Srimad Bhagavatam. So here in the third, Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam Sukamukad Amrata Drava Samyutam. So that Sukamukad, when it is coming from a pure devotee, lips of the pure devotee, that is very relishing, because it is Bhagavata Puranam. This is Rasamalayam. Muhuraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavuka. Rasika Bhaktas. They relish this. because this is Amalam Puranam. So that is why here Krishna actually is Krishna Katha. The topic related to Krishna, it is very, very beautiful, and it is always understood by the persons who are free from envy. But the problem with the materialist is they want sense gratification. So restraining from sense gratification, that idea they cannot comprehend. No rules, no regulations. I want to enjoy in a particular way and I will enjoy. That bhoga vritti is there. I want to act the way I like, I want to act, not as per the authorities. I don't want to surrender to authorities. I have no master. I am myself is the master. This idea is whole pervading the society nowadays. So that is why so many problems we can see that, I want to enjoy. Everybody want to enjoy. And when there are problems, they go to different hospitals, this psychological psychiatrists, or I want to feel good. But what is there to feel good in the prison house? This is Durg, or this material world is like a prison house. So even the best facility that is given in the prison house, it is still a prison. But the door is open. The door is open. So anybody want to get out, they can get out. And in the childhood, or maybe now also, there will be some circus. Somebody might have seen that circus. In the cage, the beautiful bird is kept inside, and the who is controlling that bird, he opens the door. Actually, when he opens the door, the bird can fly away, and if it flies away, the controller has no control to catch it. But what does the bird do? It comes out, he shows some sticks, it dances, and he shows it like it go inside, it goes inside, and again he puts the door. This is how we also, the living entity also play in the material world. The Maya shows the stick, play like this, play like that, and the Jivatma, conditioned soul, dragged by the material desires, is dancing by the three modes of material nature. It dances. And it has the capacity, when it gets the human form of life, it can free itself and go back home, back to Godhead, Goloka Vrindavana Dhama or Vaikuntha Dhama. But the living entity in the human form of life, it doesn't realize. And then it plays as per the tune of the Maya, and then all adjustments. I will adjust in the here explanations of Gandharva Loka and Swarga Loka. What happens? Apsaras are dancing, and there is Nandana garden. Everybody want to enjoy. So if one wants that kind of enjoyment, which is Jadananda, Jadananda is like enjoying with the matter. If one wants that, Krishna has given the free will. Krishna will not interfere. But if one wants to get out of the jail, if one wants to get higher pleasures, so then Krishna also is ready to give that. If one wants Premananda, or if one wants Sevananda, Krishna is ready to give that. But many people, they aspire for Jadananda, and then some people little higher want Brahmananda, but nobody aspires for Premananda or Sevananda. So that is the reason everybody is in the conception of I, me, and mine. Janasya mohoyam aham mameti. that I am the controller, I am the enjoyer, and I am the proprietor. See, this Alexander the Great, he conquers one by one land he conquers and makes his empire, and finally he comes India. And in India, his soldiers they catch hold of one thief, and they bring him in front of Alexander the Great. Then the Alexander the Great, after checking the case, he tells the punishment is killing of the thief. Then the thief says, wait a minute, you don't have any authority to punish me, because I am a small thief and you are a big thief. Then Alexander the Great asks, how I am a big thief? Then he says, I am stealing small things. You are giving me the punishment of killing me, sentenced to death. But you are just looting the entire world, country by country, and you are stealing so many land. So you are a big thief. What punishment you should get? So then Alexander the Great, he understands and he goes back actually. So the whole conception is that, Alexander the Great or Hiranyakashipu, whoever, the tendency is to control, enjoy. But laws of nature is so strict that nobody is spared. One has to undergo the cycle of repeated birth and death. So, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukha Doshanu Darshanam. So, one has to undergo death, that repeated birth and death, that nobody understands and realizes. I will live for almost eternal. The way they behave is I am eternally living. But it's the most surprising thing. Ahani ahani bhutani gachanti hayamalayam. So that is why the whole materialistic civilization or the materialistic conception of living is such that the living entity is envious of the Krishna or his position or even his devotees. So that is why Srila Prabhupada, he was very strong in presenting Krishna consciousness. One time what happens, Giriraj Maharaj, and they used to go morning walk. So Srila Prabhupada said one beautiful point. For that, Giriraj Maharaj says, thank you, Srila Prabhupada. I was in Maya. Now you gave a beautiful point like that. Then actually Srila Prabhupada was very expertly, he was expert in smashing the ego and presenting the reality. It is not that he wanted to smash the ego, or it is to present Krishna consciousness in a more solid way. Srila Prabhupada, when he says, thank you, Srila Prabhupada, I was in Maya. So Srila Prabhupada immediately tells, what do you mean you are in Maya? Means you are always in Maya. Actually, the point Giriraj Maharaj was making that I was always Krishna consciousness. For some time I was in Maya, and you made that statement and brought me back to Krishna consciousness. That was his point actually. But Srila Prabhupada told, you are always in Maya, but sometimes you are Krishna conscious, sometimes you are enlightened. So that stuck Giriraj Maharaj. So we are thinking that we are always Krishna consciousness, and sometimes we are in Maya. Oh, I am in Maya, Prabhu, like that. Actually, we are always in Maya. Sometimes we are Krishna conscious. That is the point. So The whole point that we are in the grips of the illusory energy. We are in the grips of three modes of material nature. And the more we are not thinking of Krishna, the influence of Maya is so much more. But to the degree we are conscious of Krishna, to that degree, the influence is less. So, in order to be completely free from the clutches of Maya, we have to be 100% Krishna conscious. That is the whole point. So, slowly, we have to become more and more Krishna conscious. Learn, get trained, improve the consciousness, work on it. When we have anarthas, work on the anarthas. So then slowly come to the stage of nishta, ruchi, asakti. So that whole tada rajas tamo bhava kama lobha dayaschaye cheta aitar anaviddam sthitam sattve prasidati. So come to the mode of goodness. It is coming to the mode of goodness is like coming to airport. For example, I want to go to USA. In order to go to USA, I have to first come to the airport. Then from airport, it is easy that I can take the flight and go to USA. But if I want to go to USA, but I will think, okay, I will go to the rooftop of my house. I will stand there. Maybe the aeroplane will come and pick me up and it will take me to USA. All these things, if we think, it is just a speculation. I'm, in my mind only I'm thinking this way, that way I can go to USA. The point is you have to go to the airport. That is the first step. So, tada rajas tamo bhava. Then kama lobha dayaschaye. This raja and tama, tamoguna and rajoguna, raise above and come to the platform of sattvaguna. Sthitam sattve prasidati. Come to the platform of sattvaguna. And from there, it is very easy to come to the Shuddha Sattva platform and understand that Jivera Swarup Hoy Krishnera Nityadas. I am the eternal servant of the Lord. So, if one is always remembering that I am the servant of the Lord, then what happens? Kama lobha dayasche. This kama or the lower modes, that influence is gone. And I am understanding I am eternal servant of the Lord. I have a relationship with the Lord. And I understand my relationship, sambandha with the Lord. I understand his position. Then also I understand his form, his pastimes, his name, his paraphernalia, his various, how its relationship with other pure devotees, he's maintaining those things, how he's dealing, how is Bhaktavatsala. Then when we understand that thing, and when we do this Navavidha Bhakti, it is very easy to come to the level of Shuddha Sattva. So that is why at least come to the mode of goodness. Because in the airport, there are different planes standing. So similarly, there are different Vaikuntha planes also. Vaikuntha planes we can board. For that, we have to raise above the lower modes, passion and ignorance. So that is why, it's very important to associate with such devotees. Association with the devotees is mainly Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavata based on the Bhagavata philosophy. Not just coming together and just having some Hare Krishna, that's all, not that. We discuss Krishna Katha. So Kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. This is the basis of devotee association. So when tushyanti cha ramanti cha, when ramanti means one relishes Krishna Katha in the association of the devotees, then that is the whole thing. So when the rover modes will go, so previous verse what it says actually, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So that is very, very important. When we do Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, then Lord is pleased by us. When Lord is pleased by us, then He removes the lower modes of nature. That is the whole thing. And when Lord is pleased, when we serve the devotees, especially serve the pure devotees. So Mahat Sevaya, that is the seva of the Uttama Adhikaris or the pure devotees of the Lord. When we serve, then the progress is very fast. Then next question may come, I am not finding any pure devotees. I can see only neophyte devotees. Is there any pure devotee? Then that is in our, it's a mental blockage. That is why we can't see pure devotees when we are trying to see the faults in others. But if we are sincere, then there may be hundreds of pure devotees in our temple. We don't know. But when we pray to the Lord, when we pray to Supreme Personality of Godhead, show me the pure devotee whom I can associate with, then Krishna will definitely send the pure devotee. So the whole thing is, even if we don't, we may say that, okay, we are not finding. Then there is Vapu Seva, then there is Vani Seva. We can do Vani Seva. The Srila Prabhupada's lectures available. Guru Maharaj lectures, various our own Guru Maharaj, their lectures are available. So many sannyasis, so many Prabhupada's disciples, so many other great souls have given the lectures. We can hear that. And not only hearing, do the manana. So when we get sakshatkara, we have to do the manana and then we have to apply those principles in our practical life. When we apply those principles in practical life, Krishna is pleased and then he is giving the realizations. Otherwise, realization doesn't come. Without the mercy of the Lord, we don't get any realizations. We can't, that Vijnana is not there. Only Jnana is there. But when we apply those Jnana in our practical life, then the mercy of the Lord coming, then one gets realizations. That is very, very important. See, the whole thing here in this section of Srimad Bhagavatam, they are mentioning if we are envious or if we are thinking, that I don't want to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I will be having the atheistic mentality, or even up to the point I will think that God is impersonal. Even if we are thinking towards that directions, we cannot get the mercy of the Lord in the form of Krishna Prema or pure bhakti. So if we want a pure bhakti, then we have to understand Krishna's position, then act accordingly. Serve the pure devotees, serve the devotees. We should not make any differentiation. We have to serve all the devotees, even if they are neophytes. The Raghunath Das Goswami or other Goswamis, even the newcomers, they used to pay Dandavat or the Panchanga Namaskar. Raghunath Das Goswami, 2000 Namaskara he used to do every day, single day. So then what is our position? So we have to respect each and every devotee. But at the same time, we have to definitely serve the great Vaishnavas, great souls. By that, one makes rapid advancement, and then come to the platform of goodness, and then slowly Shuddha Sattva. So to summarize, what was the point? This section of Srimad Bhagavatam, the different prayers are there. That is because, even in various, there is a complete 14 planetary systems. Wherever we go, the supremacy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is established. And in the another point Srila Prabhupada is bringing in various purports here is the envious nature of the living entity. So how the materialists are envious. And another thing, we have two choices. We have the choice of surrendering to Krishna, or we have the choice of surrendering to Maya. But materialist, they want to choose to surrender to Maya. But as the devotees, we have to choose to surrender to Krishna. But while choosing, we have to be very, very careful, because Maya is very, very strong in deluding us. She has two potencies, Avaranatmaka and Pratyakshatmika. She bewilders. And we have to be very, very careful, for which it is better we come to the platform first to the goodness from lower modes of passion and ignorance, and from goodness it's very easy to raise to the Shuddha Sattva platform by doing Navavida Bhakti, especially chanting of the holy name Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. When we come to the Shuddha Sattva platform, 24/7 Krishna conscious, that time we realize, not only theoretically understand, we realize that we are the Atma and we are the Krishna servant, eternal servant of the Lord. Then even our relationship, our Swarupa in the spiritual world, what we are in the spiritual world, that is also revealed to the sincere devotee. And from there, it is very easy to enter into the pastimes of the Lord. So that is why it starts with Sevonmukhehi Jivad. It starts with tongue. Seva through this tongue and seva through different indriyas. So we engage our indriyas in the service of the Lord. Rashikena, Rashikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. So when we engage the senses in the service of the Lord, we get higher and higher realizations slowly, and we can uplift the consciousness. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Thank you so much. Any questions or comments, corrections?
Hare Krishna, Madhav Sharan. Thank you so much for the wonderful class, and especially those wonderful reminders which are needed mostly. I would request devotees to open up, unmute, and if they have any questions or comments, please share.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, I have a very basic question. How to differentiate between understanding and realization? Are they one and the same, or suddenly sometimes they'll ask us, what is your realization? We try to tell what we understand, but they say that's not realization. Can you just give us an example and explain this?
Very simple example. If you have the understanding that you should not engage in sense gratification, in spite of understanding, you will engage in sense gratification. But if you have the realization that we should not engage in sense gratification, then at any cost, you will not engage in sense gratification. That is the example. So when we are theoretically knowing, for example, whatever, Srila Prabhupada says our spiritual life begins with controlling mind and senses. So we have this knowledge, we have to control the senses. This is theoretical knowledge. If I am having theoretical knowledge, I have to control the senses. Then in spite of knowing that I have to control the senses, I still engage in sense gratification. But if I have the realization that I need to control the senses, then I will control it, because I have the realization and I have the strength also coming from the devotional service to do that. That is the realization part. So with the realization, we are able to follow whatever is that is one part. And of course, understanding higher and higher realizations. For example, another example, if we take realizations of the example which I gave in the class, Atma. So we know, all of us, we know that we are not the material body, we are the soul. But since we don't have the realization, many a times we act in such a way that I am the material body. But if I have the realization that I am the soul, I will not act in any way that is related to the material body. Because I know that I am the Jivatma, I am the servant of the Lord. I have that realization. So when I have the realization, then I will be acting according to that realization. So it is same with many examples. Srila Prabhupada gives the simple example of thief. There are four ways, right? Understanding and getting the realizations. How one gets, that, for example, it is said just by hearing, and one who just by seeing and undergoing the same experience, and sometimes even after undergoing same experience, one will not learn. So, for example, a very intelligent person, he hears that by doing a thief, some stealing, by becoming thief, police will catch me. One hears it. Intelligence person, just by hearing, he will not go to
Do
steal.
that.
Yeah, because by hearing only he gets the realization that I can understand. I get the realization. If I steal, I'm going to get caught by the police and I have to go to jail. By hearing, I get the realization I will not do. Some people, by hearing, they cannot get. They see. What they see? They see is few thieves are getting caught by the police and they are put into jail. He sees, but just by hearing he can't get, but by seeing he gets realization. Oh, okay, somebody is getting caught and he's put into jail. Okay, I should not steal. This is second step. Second, little lower. And then the third, two things also he will not understand. Here, somebody told him, he didn't realize. Somebody he saw also, he didn't realize. Then he is undergoing the experience. He goes and let me see. He goes and steals. He is caught. He is beaten by police. He put into jail. Then he gets the realization. Oh, if I steal, then the fourth kind, they are so full. Even after putting into jail, they will not realize, because they don't want to realize. They don't want to understand. They don't want to go into that. So they are put out. They are released from the jail. Again they go and steal. So this basically realizations comes by the mercy of the Lord. So there are different ways of getting realizations. Why we hear Srimad Bhagavatam? Why we hear these Jambudvipa residents of offering prayers and all?
To get the mercy of the Lord.
We get realizations by mercy of the Lord by hearing only. First step. So, Kirtana Deva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Paravajit, that verse, first part, which is Sumedasaha. Sumedasa, intelligent person will just get realizations by hearing. So we want to get maximum realizations by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why we do Nityam Bhagavata Seva. When we hear from a pure devotee, when we are hearing again and again, we get realizations just by hearing. We don't have to get beaten up by Maya and get slaps from Maya and then realize. Just by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam every day, we are realizing these things. Now I don't have to go to Swargaloka and see the dances of Apsaras or enjoy in the Nandanandana gardens to get the realization that Swargaloka is also temporary. There also the Janma Mrityu Jaravadi is there. Srimad Bhagavatam gives us the knowledge that even if you go Abrahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravarti Norchil, it is already said in the Shastra. I don't have to go to Brahmaloka and see that, oh, from Brahmaloka also I will fall down. I don't have to go. The Shastras, that is why Srimad Bhagavatam is there. I know that even if I go to Brahmaloka, Punaravartina is there. So best thing, go to Vaikunta. So we hear these things and we hearing and getting realizations. So one goes through different cantos and comes to the 9th canto, he is completely realized of this knowledge. When he having complete realizations, at that point he is a pure devotee. And from that point, when he reads the 10th canto with the realizations, he can relish and understand Krishna's pastimes. Otherwise, if one hears Rasa Leela, he may misunderstand. He will not understand Krishna's position because he has not realized Krishna's position. He will think those pastimes in the mundane perspective. So that is why we have to hear Srimad Bhagavatam again and again. Then we get more and more realizations. So that comes when we apply these teachings in our practical life. So that's very important. Then we get realizations. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for making me understand, Prabhu. I always have this problem.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thanks for the wonderful class, Prabhu. Prabhu, should we have to understand like this Gnana is knowledge, Vijnana is applied knowledge.
Realized knowledge, yes. Applied.
Realized knowledge.
Applied is the one step previous. When we apply the knowledge, we get realizations. That is the realized knowledge. That is Vijnana.
Final product is Vijnana.
Yes. Final product is Vijnana. So that realization has to come. Realization is very, very important.
So that again depends on each one's surrender to the Lord, that realization.
Realization always comes by the mercy of the Lord. It is always by the mercy of the Lord. When He is pleased by our attempts, our efforts to hear Srimad Bhagavatam or to apply these principles in our life, when He is pleased, He gives those realizations. So slowly, He gives the realization that completely I am the soul. And in Bhava stage, you get your Swarupa also revealed. So that time you are completely convinced and realized that I am so and so in the spiritual world. That is the Swarupa Siddhi stage. And that point you are completely convinced that I am the soul. I am the Jiva. I am having so much so and so position in the spiritual world. That is realization complete. But at this point of time, we are having the Jnana that I am the soul, I am not the material body, and slowly getting more and more realized. It's a gradual process. Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, Prema. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Dandavat.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranams, Prabhu.
Dandavat.
Prabhu, many times the Shastras and speakers, they say it's causeless mercy of the Lord. So
Yeah.
that time we feel very helpless, Prabhu. So how to make this causeless into how to get the mercy of the Lord, Prabhu?
Pray to Gauranga. Gauranga and Nityananda. Parama Karuna Pahuduhi Jana Nitai Gaura Chandra. So that is why we have special mercy of Gauranga. So Gauranga gives causeless mercy. So he didn't see who is fit or who is unfit. So Jagai Madai also got the causeless mercy. So Panchatattva and Nitai Gauranga, when we pray to them, we get causeless mercy. So sometimes Krishna is also giving the mercy, but not the causeless mercy. So causeless mercy Gauranga easily gives. So pray to Nitai Gauranga and Panchatattva. And of course our Guru Parampara, Acharyas are very, very merciful. Srila Prabhupada, other Acharyas, our own Gurudev. We can pray to them. We get causeless mercy. By that causeless mercy, we get realizations, we get pure devotional service. It's all mercy. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. You told
Hare
me the
Krishna.
practical point. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Dandavat Pranams.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. If there are no further questions or comments, I think you can end the session for today. Thank you so much once again,
Thank you,
Madhav Sharan
Prabhu.
Prabhu. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
We'll end with Vaishnava pranams. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindubhye vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnava vrinda ki jai. Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much all of you for joining this session today morning. We'll meet again next tomorrow at the same time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat.
Prabhu.
Right.